Let's start the stream. Come on. Hi. Let's start the stream. I said, I just start the stream. Come on. Ha. Hey guys, good to have y'all here. We are chilling. It's another Friday. We made it through another week. I'm glad you made it. We made it. All that jazz. So, of course, let's get it started from the top. Yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of Loungin. I am not alone. I'm joined by NERDSoulite. Say what's up.
Hi,
y'all. And Lisa, say hey.
Hey, y'all.
So we got Lady Lisa in the house. We got NERDSoulite. And we are here ready to get started. If you guys are just getting in, big shout out to the chat. Kibi23. What's up, Kibi23? You were one of our winners for the rent party. Did you reach out to 133 Art? I hope you did. Because with that said, I got a couple announcements. One, for everyone who came out last week for the rent party, thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a lot of fun. It took a while to get together. And we finally were able to give it to y'all and show y'all and have a good time. Black comics and hip hop. So thank you for everyone who came out, everyone who contributed and all that stuff. Much love to all y'all. Then I also want to give a big shout out, most especially to Jason Reeves of 133 Art and also Quinn McGowan of Legends Press. We were the planning team that put it together, and just being able to have a moment where we could, have some community in the black comics, black cosplay, hip hop, all that was a lot of fun, and we put it on, and it was amazing, and I'm so glad that we were able to pull it off. So with that said, big shout out to the chat. We got Kibi23, we got Shango Zulu in the house. Catherine B, what's up? What's up? And Kibi23 says, yeah, sure did. We corresponded. Cool, great. Then I'm glad you got everything you need. And Jamal Lee in the house. What up, Jamal Lee? Jamal Lee was there during the rent party. So Jamal Lee can tell y'all it was fun. We had a lot of fun, some great conversation. I've been dropping snippets of the long form show the whole week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed just like we enjoyed. So this week we got some more news. We made it through. We are here. I did want to start this. I wanted to start this particular show off by saying, stay focused. Keep your blinders on, and let's continue running our race. This is our journey. During the last week, there's been a lot of diversionary tactics. There's been a lot of other groups trying to jump in. People telling us how we shouldn't protest. We've been told that, oh, well, this is over, or this isn't what the family wants. All this stuff, that's diversionary. That's extra white noise we don't need to hear. Nah, you gotta say. So we gotta remember to keep the white noise outside and continue on our journey. You know what I'm saying? We know what we want. We know what we're fighting for. And big shout out to Professor Truth, Professor Black Truth. He had a video that he dropped, I think yesterday. He had a video that he dropped yesterday where he said, people always tell you to vote. And I'm going to get on Keisha Bottoms in a little bit. Hold on. So he had a video drop where he said, we got these charges upgraded for the George Floyd murder and the other officers arrested, and we did it all without voting. And it makes you look at this, you have to look at it in a certain way and say, oh, we've always been told voting is the way. So I want you guys to keep that in your mind. Voting is not the only way. And sometimes voting may not be the best way. Now, voting could be a very long-term way, which is still good. I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater, but don't let the traditional culture and media tell you that protests don't work. Okay? Protests have just worked, and we need to keep pushing. So big shout out to Black Lives Matter, who's out protesting right now down there, Beverly Hills Police Department. We got protests going all through the nation. Keep pushing on that journey. Let's stay focused. I know there's a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. But stay focused. There's a lot of stuff on the periphery that I don't want us to get, off track with. We know what we want. And right now, we're dealing with the police and the law enforcement arm of white supremacy, and we are working to break it down. And we are going to stay focused on that. Don't worry about, gender wars over here or some celebrity over there trying to, pretend like you their child. Don't worry about all that. Stay focused. But with that said, Lady Lisa, I know you wanted to jump in.
I was just going to say, as far as the protesting, the narrative is pushed that, just vote. You don't need to protest, because protesting makes the powers that be uncomfortable. It's a protest. It's not supposed to make you comfortable, but it makes them uncomfortable, and that's why they push, it's better for you to vote. And if I hear them say peaceful one more time on the news here, I'm going to scream, because they're just so excited that there are peaceful protests going on right now, because that's what makes them comfortable. And this isn't about your comfort. We don't want you to be comfortable. The problem is you are comfortable literally standing, kneeling on our necks. We're not concerned with your comfort. We want you to be uncomfortable, because then you pay attention and then you listen. And, these protests have made them extremely uncomfortable. It has made it so inconvenient for everyone. And that's what we need. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
And big shout out to Catherine B. We got to keep protesting. Breonna Taylor's killers had to be brought to justice.
Absolutely.
Too. Yeah, and not just Breonna Taylor's. You know what I'm saying? There's a new young man that we heard, Manuel. I cannot remember his last name, and I apologize. I'll find it and pull it up. But we got to make sure that we get this, and each victory. Every time we win is another step up. So I know. So we won this one. Well, we haven't won this one. We got the charges. So now we got to keep pushing on those charges and push for the next one. The next one, of course, is Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. There's another young lady, another young man, I believe, that were either brutalized or killed by the police. And the sad thing is, it's so frequent, it's hard to stay up with. But I'll tell you one thing: we keep protesting and we stay vigilant. And I ain't talking about none of that, trying to make them comfortable mess. Continue protesting. Be loud. Be in their face. Don't stop. And keep pushing. Now, with Breonna Taylor, I did want to stop and make a note about gender wars. Today, well, it might not have been today. Let me see when it was actually posted, but New York Times put a story out where they were talking about Breonna Taylor, and the headline was let me see if I can find it. It says, "Why aren't we all talking about Breonna Taylor?" This is a diversionary tactic. It's written by a young lady named Alicia Haridasani Gupta. One is diversionary in the form of trying to stoke that gender wars. Oh, you don't care about black women, or oh, you don't care about black men, or oh, black men get all this, or oh, black women get all this. No, they ain't. Just if that's what you're here for, you're not gonna get it. This channel is about black people, the black family, the black community. And when I saw this article, I was like, this is funny. Because maybe you, New York Times, haven't been talking about Breonna Taylor, but I submit to you that black media has continued to talk about Breonna Taylor and has followed her case and followed the 911 call and the charges and Kenneth Walker, all of that. So where is this coming from? And then you get inside the article, and there's a quote from a young lady that said she was at an event. Where was the event? She said she was at an event, and people were like saying Black Lives Matter, and it was for George Floyd. The event was for George Floyd, and she said during the event, she said, but I was shocked that I didn't hear anyone say Breonna Taylor's name at any point. And my thing is, we need to make sure how we frame this, because It's not that people weren't thinking about Breonna Taylor. We love and miss Breonna Taylor. Today is her birthday. We wish she could have been here to support, to enjoy it and live and you know, flourish. But the event was for George Floyd. That would be similar to us holding an event for Breonna Taylor and being like, why you ain't talking about Ahmaud Arbery? You know what I'm saying? It would be like, it's not for Ahmaud Arbery. It's for Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So for this, the article is already bent in a way where it's like, why are you trying to stoke these flames? Then you got to look to who's writing it. Alicia Haradisani Gupta. And I'll drop the link to the article in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all guys can see it. My issue with this is, once again, we have people outside of the culture trying to come into the culture and start fires. I just dropped the link to the article in the chat. You guys feel free to read it, look at it. There's nothing wrong with being you know, at an event and not hearing someone's name. But the event actually was not even for that person. Now, if we were doing a wider event, which that's kind of how they try to push it to be, I can see. But you got to remember, just because you're at one event, that is not indicative of the push that Black media, especially on Twitter and YouTube, have been pushing for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? So this idea that you know, we have forgotten about Breonna Taylor, don't believe it, keep those blinders on. We've been saying Breonna Taylor's name. We've been following the case. We saw when that 911 call came out, and I'm very interested to see what happens in this particular case, because usually the police kill everybody and there's no one left to tell their side. But now, we got Kenneth Walker that was there and his 911 tape, which proves to us that because they said we kicked in the door or whatever, and we identified ourselves as police or whatever. From the 911 call, seems like you didn't identify good enough because he didn't know what was going on. So now we've caught them in lies. We've heard from people in the other apartments saying they hear bullets and bullets flying everywhere. So now we have some kind of basic wild shootout where bullets are just going every which way. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out, because this is a case where the police have someone to actually speak against them. You know, now it's not just like Botham Jean dead. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got nobody to speak up for him. Nobody else was there. But now you have someone who was there. Are you back up? All right, cool. Someone who was there. So that's what interests me in this case, to see how this is played. But don't let please, my people, gender wars, gender politics have been pushed into our community from white supremacy for a long time to divert us. We need to stay together. It ain't nothing there's nothing that a Black woman's going to get that I'm not going to get, or that she's going to get, or that I'm going to get that she ain't going to get. But they'll have you believe that and push that narrative. And then next thing you know, we fighting each other instead of moving forward on removing qualified immunity, prosecuting these police, holding them to a higher standard instead of a lower standard, which they are now, jumping on each and every, I'm talking from down to, what's the officer? I can't remember his name, but he got brought up on like sprinkling, you know, like marijuana and stuff in people's cars. So all the way down to that. But we can't get that out if we keep letting these diversionary tactics up in here. So for one, you know, New York Times, you ain't family. Like, let's be for real. You ain't family. And don't, especially the young lady that wrote the article. I'm like, where you been? Who you? Ain't nobody look, y'all better stop letting these non-Black people of color try to come in our community and stoke fires. Reason being is that another thing we've seen during these last 2-3 weeks is that POC and black are two different things.
Man.
I submit to you, the Asian community, where you at? The Latino community, where you at? Now, I know there are Latino people, individual people here and there. Not talking about that. What I'm talking about is these same Latino people that are always ready to jump up and talk about some social injustice. But then when social injustice happens to black people, then it seems to be silent. Also, and I guess we'll get into this in a little bit. Did you want to get into the Latin gangs in Chicago? Or did you have something else you wanted to jump on first?
Well, before I forget, well, go ahead and finish your point.
Well, I was going to lead into that unless you wanted to hold back something.
Before I forget, I found the young man you were talking about. His name was Manuel Ellis.
Manuel Ellis, yes.
In Seattle. No, I'm sorry, not in Seattle. Tacoma.
All right, cool.
Tacoma, Washington. He was age 33. He died.
Sadly,
he died in police custody. In police custody in Tacoma. He was killed as a result of oxygen deprivation and the physical restraint that was used on him, according to details of a medical.
They choked him to death.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That was officially, they try to give you the science.
Well, no. That was according to the medical examiner.
I know, but they choked him to death while he was in cuffs. What threat does he pose? But once again, you know what I'm saying? This is happening, and so we got to stay focused on what we want, what we're pushing for. Right now, we are battling essentially the justice and more specifically the law enforcement arm of white supremacy. That's what we're fighting right now. We ain't got time to worry about New York Times saying that we don't care about Breonna Taylor, which is BS.
And if I can add into I don't know if many of you are aware, but for quite some time, there's been a bill that has been circulating over and over.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
There's been a bill circulating over and over again in Congress, the lynching bill, where, still 2020 people, we're still trying to get them to officially outlaw lynching. In 2020, God help us. And it has not happened. Rand Paul is holding that up at this point. But I'm going to ask you all, if you would, you can go online and you can actually look up the details of this law. And I think a lot of people, when they hear lynching, they think of, they're just trying to outlaw specifically the physical act of lynching. No. If you look at the bill, what they're trying to do, and this is a good thing, what they're trying to do is for all of these acts of assaulting black people will fall under lynching, meaning that if you are assaulting someone, if you are attempting to kill someone, etc., based on their race, that's going to fall under lynching. And that's very important because that is modern day lynching.
Yes.
Rand Paul claims that his issue with it is that very simple injuries would fall under that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. If they were attacking you because
doesn't matter if the injury's simple or not.
If they succeeded in injuring you, and if they didn't, doesn't matter. Your attempt, such as attempted murder, I could still be living, but you are going to be charged if you attempted to keep me from living. So if you were not able to kill me like you attempted to because I'm black, that's on you. But you're still going to get charged, you know. So,
and what up, Pim Griffey?
So, guys, go ahead and I would say look that up.
And that doesn't mean that we can't push for it locally.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that we can't push for it in our states.
Yeah. I would say look that up and educate yourselves on that and keep your eye on that. As of right now, he's the only one holding this up. I don't understand how, with these laws, one person is able to hold that up, but that's what is happening.
Yeah. Once again, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep doing whatever you got to do to get the word out. Keep supporting people. Because people that look like you, because remember, voting is not the only way. We've seen over these last couple of weeks, voting ain't the only way. So Rand Paul might think, I'm going to just stop the vote here because I have the power. We're seeing black people have more power than we thought we did. And we got to continue to wield that and continue to mold that and continue to push forward. So before we get on your stories that you're talking about, and I got your mic off for a second because I know you're chewing. So before we move on, I did want to speak to what we've been seeing around a lot, as a lot of people, saying like, what can I do? I don't protest, and we've been seeing a lot of people saying, hey, support these creators or support these artists or support these black businesses. And I need you guys to continue to, in every area you can, start to move your money towards black business. You buy soap? Well, guess what? Black people make soap. You brush your teeth, don't you? Well, I hope you brush your teeth. Black people make toothbrushes. They make toothpaste. You wash your clothes? Black people make clothes detergent and dishwashing detergent and hand sanitizer. And there's many now, there isn't a black-owned everything, but there's a lot of black-owned stuff out there that you can get and that you can lean on and vote with your dollars today instead of waiting until November like Keisha Bottoms wants you to do, because she's safe from what most people have to deal with, as well as T.I., as well as Killer Mike, which I'll get on in a second with the diversionary tactics. But what I want you guys, what's up, Therese? What I want you guys, yes, We Buy Black is a good port. If you search, you're probably getting some food sometime this weekend. There are black businesses that have food, black businesses that serve coffee, donuts, whatever. If you're going to get it, I'm not saying go out, like say if you don't use, I don't know, say if you don't use pencil and pen. Say you don't use any pencil and pen. I'm not saying go buy a pencil from a black business. You don't need that. But there's many things that you do need, especially basic needs, that are provided by black businesses that we need to start voting with our dollars. Here's why. I ran the numbers. I buy from, let me see the name of the company. I'm going to give them their props. Honey Dip. There's this company called Honey Dip. And this is not an ad in no way. I'm just giving them love because I shop there and I buy stuff from there and I like what they got. So with this situation, I'm gonna put the link in the Shop Black, cool. But share these stuff with each other. So I'm putting the link in the chat. Honey Dip, they have this product called Honey Dipped Essentials Tangerine and Colloidal Silver Disinfectant. Okay, so I use disinfectant spray. It's a disinfectant and aerosol. So, you can spray it on things, it's disinfectant, and, spray it, give you fresh air, fresh smell or whatever. Like Febreze, but it's also disinfectant. I buy it anyway. All right, cool. You sure? All right, cool. So I buy that stuff anyway. So why not buy it from a company that's black that makes it? Now, are they the only company? No. There's other black companies that make it. But if I'm going to buy it, if I'm going to own it anyway, then I might as well buy it from someone who looks like me. And I was running the numbers one time on a company that was selling something. Can't remember. I think it was some soaps. They had soaps for like $8 a piece or something like that. And
that's something else you
yeah, something else. But I'm just running the numbers real quick. I was running the numbers, and if 2% of black people in America, that's not a lot. I mean, that's not a large percentage. But 2% of black people or 5% of black people, just small percentages like that, even 1% of the black people, after running the numbers, I'm like, oh, that's like $10 million of revenue for them. And that's not even all black people. So what I'm saying is, if 2% of black people were able to buy, this thing or those socks or these toothbrushes or whatever, you're generating revenue in your own community. In turn, what this does is allows these companies to expand, hire people that look like you. Now, you might say, oh, well, it's just a job. A job is just a job. But it removes those people from the corporate system that is built on white supremacy, where they are able to go and work and wear their hair how they want to wear it. They can't go somewhere and be understood like we would understand them. These things have a trickle-down effect of their own. And we actually build them up ourselves. Now, am I saying that this will change overnight? Well, no, actually it can. There's nothing stopping that from happening. But what I'm saying is, even a small number, like 1 to 2% of black people, could fundamentally change the dynamics financially of many black businesses.
Right.
Just from small things like a bar of soap or, toothpaste.
And we know that it can change. Otherwise, Black Wall Street wouldn't have been burned down.
True. Very true.
And also, I know most people have noticed this. I know I have. When you buy from a lot of black businesses, you are paying a significant amount more. And we all know why. They don't get the funding.
What's up, Marquise?
Yeah, they don't get the funding, like other businesses do. Sometimes the supplies that they have to buy have increased costs, and sometimes they don't have multiple locations, so they're working in one location, and so they have to
they have to fight against that.
And they have to charge more. But if we start to patronize these places and buy from them, that can all slowly change. They won't have to charge as much as they used to, but we have to come in and we have to support them. And it just, it starts somewhere. And, no one's saying, don't go to Target anymore, don't go to Walmart anymore. We're not.
Because there's some stuff that you're just going to have to go for.
But it can start small. You can say, okay, I've been meaning to try, this restaurant. Yeah. Go try that restaurant. That may become your favorite place to go to on the weekends. Try buying. I know you guys have heard a lot about, I think what's most popular really is these places that make soaps and scrubs and things like that. Try them out. That's something that you do or something you've been wanting to do. Try them out. Etsy, you can look it up. You are able to actually find a list of all black-owned Etsy shops, which is awesome. You can actually Google that and find that. And so, if you're not familiar with Etsy, which I hope you are, there are a lot of different shops on Etsy where they have just handmade items that are actually really fantastic. And they give you a list of all that are black owned, which is awesome.
And thank you, Kibi23. And I'll go to the chat for a second. Kibi23 says, come in and stop asking for discounts and deals. We don't haggle Target. Yeah. Thank you. You want to support someone? Buy their stuff. I buy True detergent. I found them on We Buy Black. I buy True detergent. One is way better than like what do we have before, like All or something like that. Anyway, it's way better than that. And I didn't haggle them. I bought it. I didn't message them and be like, help a brother out. No, I just bought it. You know what I'm saying? Don't haggle each other. Let's see. John Lima said you were going to mention meat. What? I would like to point out that there is a National Black Farmers Association. Oh, yeah.
That's
well,
awesome.
word up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the opportunities are too vast for us to not take these opportunities and take this opportunity to start to vote with our dollars. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you have to spend $5,000, you know what I'm saying, trying to ball out. But what you can do is, start small, start slow, and start to transition, which is what I've been doing for months now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the products we bought have actually been good. I mean, honestly, with the laundry detergent, it works better than what we had.
Yeah.
We were like, this is actually.
I was like, yo, this joint is kind of all right.
It's kind of on point.
I was like, all right.
Before I forget, Therese asked, he said, was Black Wall Street a place or was it a practice or movement? Good question.
Okay, yeah, it was. Oh, well, yeah, you got it.
In 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma's Greenwood district, known as Black Wall Street, was one of the most prosperous African-American communities in the United States. So, yes, it was a place. Good question, though. So, it was a place in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was a place. And that unfortunately, we saw what happened with that place. But that doesn't mean that we have to just stop and never try again. Seeing that again, we've got to make sure that we continue to push forward financially as well. And you know what we feel about education. So one day we'll get into education. But, like I said, right now we talk about the dollars. We talk about voting with our dollars and, getting getting kind of away from that from the system that kind of denies us financially, because we spend enough to be able to turn around and bootstrap many of our own businesses.
Yeah.
Um,
I know I'm gonna step on some toes when I say this, but I'm just am.
Go ahead.
Ladies, I know that we love saving that money, but stop going to these quote discounts. You know what I'm talking about? Discount nail shops. Stop going. And then turn around and get mad when they say something derogatory about us as black women. Stop going. There are black salons, there are black spas. Are they a little bit harder to find? They may be. Do they charge more? Yes. But we need to support them. If I hear one more black woman complain about the service she got at one of these discount shops and about them saying something, I'm going to scream, because I'm like, you had no business going in the first place. You know, at this point, did I used to go back in the day? Yes, I did. It has to get to a point, though, where we change things, and we have to stop, because we're never going to be able to really build our own and prosper as a people if we don't. So, and at this point of shift in our community, in our culture right now, we have to make these decisions. Stop going to these discount nail salons, and I would say find beauty supply stores that are owned by black people. Are they few and far between? Yes, but you can find them.
Yeah, they do exist.
Make the effort to find them, okay?
And Therese said that's why I asked, because if it was just a place, what stopped us from building it again? Essentially, what stopped black people from building another Black Wall Street, and Tulsa was just one of. There were other little towns that were just complete black towns, because we were essentially pushed out of society, and they were doing fine and doing well on their own. What essentially stopped us from doing it again, and rightfully so at the time, was just fear. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a government-sanctioned attack on a black city.
Yeah.
They were firebombed. There were police. There were regular white citizens that came and shot and dropped grenades and all kinds of stuff. So it was fear, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that you should be like, oh well, let's just build another one so they can bomb it again. But I do think the internet provides a unique way to rebuild this in a decentralized notion, or in a decentralized structure. And yeah, and Fillmore Pockets said lack of protection. And Fillmore Pockets, you know I love your name. What's up coming through. But on to the story side, because I know you got some stories, and I don't know which one you wanted to start with.
Doesn't really matter. I guess we could start with the, today, we'll start here. Today would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday.
Yes.
You know, rest in heaven to her.
Yeah, rest in power, peace, power, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
so,
also to her family and her, you know, her now, I guess everyone she left behind, not just Kenneth Walker, but, you know, whether it was brothers, sisters, whatever, you know, peace, power to them.
And I know here in LA, and I'm sure other places, there have been, you know, marches and protests on her behalf on today. Also, update, I'm sure we've all heard the update about the other 3 officers charged in the George Floyd murder. They were charged with abetting, aiding and abetting in his murder. Also, though, they were granted bail. They weren't able to make the bail, though. So the judge deemed that they are able to post bail, but they're not able to post bail. So, yeah. Cool.
And one thing I wanted to talk about with that is, once again, let us remember that, like Professor Truth brought up in the video, they were all charged. Not only were they all charged, but now they are in jail, and that all happened without voting, which moves me on to the point that I want to talk about. Another one of the distractions is celebrity. celebrity culture is maybe at an all-time high, but since we last spoke, we saw Keisha Bottoms of Atlanta, mayor of Atlanta, along with T.I. and Killer Mike, on a press briefing, basically talking about, don't loot, don't break stuff. This is Atlanta. You shouldn't do this here. And I submit to her and to Killer Mike and to T.I., especially for someone who built a trap museum from his experiences in Atlanta, I would submit that Atlanta isn't the bastion of black excellence that you pretended to be. Is there black excellence in Atlanta? Yes, of course. Is there history in Atlanta? Of course there is. But I would submit to you that Goody Mob and Outkast weren't rapping about nothing. So maybe Atlanta isn't as squeaky clean as you pretend that it is. And there's this celebrity culture that is now trying to kind of tinder and quell the passion and the flames. You have Killer Mike saying, you have nowhere to organize. These people been organizing just fine. Ass stuff is burning. You got you guys T.I. saying that Atlanta is Wakanda. It's not. It's far from Wakanda. From someone who reads comic books.
It's a fake place. Sit down.
Yeah, it's a fake place. And then you have Keisha Bottoms essentially like scolding us, telling us to go home, giving us some kind of history speech about CNN. I'm like, is CNN black media? Did I miss something? CNN must be a black media outlet. What I care about CNN for? You might have an argument if they were tearing down Tyler Perry stuff. But CNN? Really? We gonna drop a 10 for CNN? The same CNN that works softly, not as hard as Fox, but softly in trying to lull black people into a false sense of security. The first time I heard that we were in post-race society, where I hear from? CNN. When I hear people trying to rationalize maybe the cops' way of thinking or we didn't see it all, I've seen it on CNN too. So stop trying to act like CNN is some great thing for black people. CNN ain't, you black people, you owe CNN nothing at all. So you got her. Then you have Jamie Foxx, who came on and spoke with Steven Jackson.
Jamie Foxx looked like he had a gun to his back. He looked like somebody was forcing him to come out there, like his daughter was tied up in a basement somewhere. Like, why do you look so scared right now?
Man, look, here's the deal. Jamie Foxx come on, and I don't have anything against him as a comedian, but this is when you come out looking dumb. Bruh, you should have just stayed home. You didn't even have to say anything. Here you come trying to be like, well, we just
have questions.
We just asking questions. We ain't asking no questions.
I don't have no questions.
We saw the video. We saw the video from the first hand account, and we saw the security video from the building. We know everything we need to know about George Floyd. We ain't asking no questions.
No, we just asking questions.
We've seen the video from Ahmaud Arbery. We don't need no questions. We've heard the 9/11 call from Breonna Taylor. We ain't asking no questions. And on and on. Tamir Rice, Eric Garner. If you want to go further back, Amadou Diallo, Abner Louima. Want to go further back, Rodney King. We can continue, and all the nameless brothers and sisters that have been killed and brutalized under the thumb of white supremacy utilizing police enforcement and police violence. So we ain't asking no questions. Questions? So the funny part here is you have a lot of celebrities that rightfully so are trying to protect their dollar. But don't try to ride our wave to protect your dollar, because now you want to split the fence. Now you want to be down for the cause, but not so down that you mess up your money with the white producers and the studio heads and all that. Now, so conversely, So conversely, you have your boy John Boyega, who stood out there and was like, look, I don't care. I'm going to say what needs to be said. And John Boyega is the only one, besides Steven Jackson and maybe like one or two others, that were just like straight up like, this is wrong. I don't care what you say. F racist, blah, 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 blah. I'm not soft shoeing this one at all. But, you know, back to the statement of someone in the chat talking about T.I. and Tiny crying about Gucci store being looted, and I can't remember who said it.
I think they said one of their friends or something.
I'm sorry. Catherine B said it. Catherine B said T.I. and Tiny store being looted, and Gucci store being looted, and T.I. and Tiny crying about it. I'm like, you got insurance.
No, I think it was one of their friends. You said one of a friend.
The statement says celebrities speaking. No, hold up. I was cackling when Tiny and T.I. friend was crying over the Gucci store. All right, cool. Yeah, it's like they're businesses. They have insurance. Like that's another thing they try to pretend and act like they ain't got. Like, oh, I've been looted. Everything is. You have insurance. They will come in and pay this insurance out. Like, stop trying to front like you being looted and everything is all lost. Now, is looting your store, would you feel good about it? No, I understand not feeling good about it. But you know what else you could have done as a business owner? You and your business owners could have got together and told your mayor to stop doing stuff like this to police, because when it reaches ahead, and it will reach ahead, they'll be looting. And what stores will they be looting? Ours. So it's in our indirect best interest to tell the police to stop brutalizing black people. Because like we've always said, and we've seen through history, if the government don't fix it, then the people got to fix it. And if the people got to fix it, then things are going to burn. But sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, you and I kind of disagreed on this a bit, but, you know, my thing was I agree with, you know, regardless of, you know, other things going on with it, I agree with T.I. and Killer Mike coming out and saying, look, you know, stop, you know, don't loot and destroy black businesses. I totally agree with that. I mean, I don't see any other argument of why it's okay, because it's why.
No, I'm not saying. I don't think I'm saying that it's okay, but for me, it came off like they were like we were their children, and they were like, don't, you know. Well, that's how it came off to me.
I got that vibe from the mayor, because you know, when I heard
and they did follow the mayor, so yeah.
I kind of looked at her like, who is you talking to? I mean, you somebody's mama, but you ain't my mama. You know,
you ain't my mama or my daddy.
Or my daddy.
Or my daddy.
So, you know, but I understand and I agree. You know, we really any black businesses that are already existing, up and running, we need to actually protect them. But at the same time, as we've found out, it's not us. Yeah. You know, doing the looting and destroying these places. We've seen that in the news. It's been reported.
And it was being shown before they did that press conference, which pushes me again to say, why are you playing into the mainstream traditional media's word of, oh, things are burning and broken, it must be only black people. So, okay, when they're marching, oh, it's a rainbow coalition. Everybody's together. Right. Everybody's marching together. When something get broke, it's only black people. There's no one else. It's only blacks. It's only the blacks. So it's like, yo, Keisha, sit down. Get out of my face. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Because here's the thing.
CNN. I was like.
Yeah, she was like, CNN 40 years ago. I'm like, I haven't seen you doing all this for black people in your city that I know have been getting harassed, that I know have been getting beat up, that I know have gotten killed. So, interesting, we have finger wagging mommy scold time for black people uprising against those that would do them harm. Interesting. When police were beating up black people, when police were harming black people, when police were pushing up against black people and forcing them into the smallest space possible that they could ever live, interesting. No finger wagging. When Other business entities were coming in and raising prices. So regular black people that built Atlanta could not live in Atlanta anymore and then have to move. Interesting, no finger wagging. But now, CNN's feelings get hurt and we got to have a press conference and some short form history about CNN. Ain't nobody trying to hear it. Now, I see you guys up in the chat talking about Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's been egregious for a long time, so I'm not surprised at all. So I won't even touch on him. But just remember, guys, we see these things are going on, but keep these things on the periphery. Because our journey, our goal is to break the power of the police in America. That's what we're working for. That's what we're pushing forward towards. We got the protests going. We got to keep them going. We got to support those that are going. That means you got to give. You got to speak about it. You got to do more than just retweet. You got to do your live streams. You got to show up in March if you can. You got to give money if you can. Then there's the financial side. I know you're going to buy some soap sooner or later. Buy it from somebody black. I know you're going to buy some toothpaste. Buy it from somebody black. I know you're going to buy some body wash or something like that. Buy it from somebody black. Continue this move. We'll talk about education later because I don't want our kids in their schools anymore either. But that's a whole nother thing. Also, right now, it's law enforcement. Break it down and get our finances going towards black hands.
Also, guys, I think we talked about this on another show before, but also, this is a great time to go ahead and start that business you've been wanting to start for the longest time. I know, things are different. A lot of people are still at home, and a lot of people are being forced really to find other sources of income. Well, make that other source of income your business. Start that now. So people can buy from your black business.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, let the dollar circulate. Shouts out to Dilla, but let the dollar circulate. You know what I'm saying? But what did you have next? Did you have anything?
Let's see. We talked about, okay, so our mayor, our mayor here in LA, Eric Garcetti, he made a rather controversial, statement. He has spoken about cutting funds, and he has, promised to cut funds significantly to LAPD, and of course they are not happy about it. And I want to make sure I find the quote, and of course I can't find it now, but he made a quote referring to cops as killers. Mm-hmm. And they, of course, were not happy about it at all. So that's the big controversy now. But again, switching back from that, he has promised to cut funds, and that's significant. That's very significant.
Because money is what allows them to buy all them like riot gear and all that, and they don't need all that. And somebody made a point of, I think it might have been Hassan Minaj or whatever, or Hassan made a statement about how do the police have all this riot gear, but then doctors ain't got no masks for, they ain't got no gloves, no masks, the little shoe things to cover your shoes. They ain't got nothing. But police got mad gear. Police got helmets, body armor, shields, cool guns, sweet vehicles and stuff. Like, the little vehicles you used to get for G.I. Joe, they got them in real life. Like, they got real things. And like, people that's actually saving folks' lives, nothing. Which goes back to kind of like the defense spending in America. If we going over there to kill somebody, we got all the money in the world. If we going over there to save somebody or put food in somebody's mouth, then we got to take up a collection plate. It's like, okay, anybody give? Anybody, y'all, please donate. You know what I'm saying? This dollar will save a child. And you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's wrong. I know it's wrong. We all know it's wrong. But somehow, some way, we got to continue to go out here and fight and push and be loud and continue to be loud. Continue to make them uncomfortable. I don't care if you're kneeling at a game. which is a whole nother thing when it comes to Colin Kaepernick. But I don't care if you're kneeling at a game. I don't care if you're yelling up in the square or if you're marching down the street. Do whatever you got to do to get seen, to get that attention, to break up the monotony so that they don't feel like they're at a brisk walk at the park. Because that's one thing that I noticed Tuesday? Was it Tuesday at one of the marches downtown LA? And they kept interviewing, it was the march at Venice. And they kept interviewing all of these non-black people. They interviewed a white lady, some Asian lady, some other looking like Latina lady. I'm like, y'all are a black movement. Why y'all ain't interviewing no black people?
Yeah,
and there's black people around them, but they're not asking black people questions.
Yeah,
and once again, that's the power. That's why we need black media. And because you see traditional media out there, and we're out here for a black movement, but somehow no black people get asked anything. No black people get asked any questions. And you can see in the back of the frame, it's black people just walking. So now you're actively squeezing us out of our movement. Now all of a sudden you want to talk about blue lives, or you want to talk about LGBT, or you want to talk about any number of things that doesn't have to do with police killing black people. Police brutality, most especially towards black people. Does police brutality happen to everyone sometime, some day and time? Yes, it does. But the overwhelming majority is black people that are perpetrated against over and over and over. So now not only are we getting pushed out, we ain't even getting questioned. And then now our issues are being pushed out. So just keep your eye on it and remember, to stay focused. Because what they'll try to do is hit you with the flim-flam on the sides. And next thing you know, you'll be arguing about the price of tea in China and wonder how you got there when you started at police brutality. And Catherine B says, America has money for what they want to have money for. That's been glaringly clear during this COVID-19 pandemic. True that. You ain't lying on that one. So with that said, I wanted to transition over to the one, the only Chicago, Illinois, in America. Chicago has always had its issues. They've always had their issues. And, not unlike any other city. But it seems that now we've been introduced to a new enemy, not really a new enemy, but a new front to fight on. And this new front that we have to fight on right now is against Latin gangs. It was brought to our attention probably early in the week, where there were a lot of Latin gangs in Chicago that were either throwing bottles and bricks and hitting cars with sticks and bats and all this stuff when they were going through a certain area in Chicago. And nothing seemed to be done about it. And it was interesting because when you look at the video, who put me on? Thought Crimes. Big shout out to Thought Crimes, Prince and Sin. They had a live stream about it. I want to say early in the week. I can't remember the exact day. And I'll put the link in the chat when I can find it, when I can pull it up. But they have this live stream, and they start showing this video. And the thing that stood out to me the most about this is not that there were Latinos that didn't like black people. That's not new. That's not surprising. What surprised me is that the size of this intersection was so large. There is no way that the police or the authorities did not know about this. And somehow there was no police response to come and stop them from attacking bystanders or people just driving through that area at all. Which leads you to ask, why? Why are there not? Oh, and I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Here's a link in the chat for the Thought Crimes video. Y'all can check it out. And thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up button. Thank you so much. It helps in the algorithm and all that good stuff. There's been an interesting question that falls on all of us. Well, with the intersection this big, because when they said when I heard that it was happening at some intersection before they teed up the video, I was like, oh, so this must be like some kind of corner in a neighborhood somewhere where they can hide and the cops don't know about it. It's sneaky, right? And you look at this video, and you're like, yo, this is a large intersection. Like there's like 4 lanes going each way. This is a large intersection. And like here in LA, it would be like, like like Pico and Sepulveda or something. It would be a large intersection where it's very well lit. It's out in the open. It's not in some sneaky place where, it's like an edge of a street or something. So it's like, then it leads you to wonder, well, why are they being allowed to do this? And then it lets you know, once again, the hierarchy. Black people, we always on the bottom. And Latinos that have essentially been placed either by white supremacy or bought into white supremacy and placed themselves above black people, unless they want to be cool with us and come to the barbecue, and come to the cookout, then they want to be cool. But in this case, you see these attacks going on, and it's like, whoa, hold up. How is this happening at an intersection so large? And then that's how you know the police are either pushing this to happen, or they're letting it happen. Being like, they knew this beef was there. They knew this was going to happen sooner or later. And they'll be like, oh, well, we'll just let it happen and we won't say anything. So one or the other have to be going on because the police are nowhere to be found to stop this mess. But big shout out to Kibi23 in the chat. She says, here from Chicago, don't live over that way, but we've been spreading the word with family, etc. I've never traveled that way from what I can recall. Boogsworthy says, and Kibi, for real, I'm glad that you're safe. Please continue to spread the word so your family can be safe, because what I was watching in that video, I was like, this is like, y'all wilding right now. Like, you have lost your absolute minds, because sooner or later, there's going to be a group of black people that decide to come there to either defend themselves or defend those that look like them, or to retaliate. And then you have a whole nother issue on your hands. But this just goes to show, once again, the level of deep-seated hatred for black skin in this country. But Kibi23, stay safe. Please stay safe, because the stuff that I'm seeing out there, I'm like, yo, what is it? It costs you nothing to stay your butt home. Nothing. Stay home. Nobody was bothering you. Nobody called your name. But now you want to come out because you figure it's fair game on black people to attack them. And I stay online pretty much, and you guys can check me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen any Latin celebrities or Latin, politicians or anything saying, hey, Latin people in Chicago, stop it. I haven't seen none of that. Now that's a finger wag time. I haven't seen none of that. It's been like this story never even happened at an intersection that large. Shouts to Boogsworthy said, it was interesting to see the Latin community response to that. They seem to believe those gangs were really protecting those businesses. Oh boy. Yeah, that was a narrative that they tried to push. Like, oh, we're just protecting our businesses. They're driving down the street. How are they even, what were you protecting them from? Smog? There were people driving down the street. Now you could say, well, there were people walking down the street, but the people that were walking down the street, there was no march, there was no group, there was no protest, there was no riot. You're talking about regular customers just walking around that you were chasing and beating up and throwing sticks at or whatever. So, you miss me with that. Let's see. Fillmore Pocket says that Latin King gang in that neighborhood has a history of working illegally with the police. Okay. Well, that would not surprise me, because Chicago, like New York, is also very well known for its corruption in state and local politics. Let's see. Fillmore Pockets also said Media Takeout published the story. I'll put the link in the comments after the live stream. And yeah, and actually put the comment in the chat as well. Do both. so we can check out that story. But yeah, thank you for immediate takeout. You know how they do, but I look, hey, I trust your judgment. Kibi23 says, right, where's the Hispanic? Oh yeah, yeah, there is, yeah. Where they at? You know what I'm saying? It's just an interesting time, and like I said on the thumbnail, I want you guys to just stay focused on our fight to move forward against police brutality in general. And I mean everything from planting evidence up to killing us. We want it done, gone. We want them prosecuted and put in jail. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about no Jeffrey Epstein jail. I'm talking about real jail. So that's what we're fighting for. And then on the other side, we got to start stepping up our economics. You know what I'm saying? Stepping them joints up slowly but surely.
And let me say on that, not just right now.
True.
No, not just saying as a form of protest right now in terms of finances and even really staying on top of what's going on. This has to be a new way of life, guys. This has to be a new way of life for Black folks. It cannot stop, when we see progress being made. It cannot. This has to be our new way of life, period. We have to support each other. We have to support each other's businesses. We have to support our own. We have to pour into it. We have to start teaching our kids to be entrepreneurs and not just to clock in somebody else's business.
Mm-hmm. And when we're looking for our son or daughter's first job, we need to be looking for a Black company or a Black business, whether large or small, to get them to have their first internship, their first job. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just for real. We gotta, because if we can slowly start to make that commitment, then we can slowly start to change things. And then also, like you said, continue fight. The second they do something, we gotta get up, ready to tap that butt. Second they do, we out there. We want them charged. We want them charged with this. Third degree, it's not enough. Kept fighting. We got second degree. We moving for first. We know the wheels turn slow, but we got to turn them wheels. We working for first degree murder. Those guys got aiding and abetting. Cool, great. We gonna keep on pushing. Every time something, we need to be out there. No, we want them prosecuted. We want them charged. We want them in jail right now, and we got to keep fighting for that. And then on the other side, we got to let that dollar circulate. And you know what I'm saying? That's for real. Whether you guys support, Black comic book artists or Black cosplayers or Black businesses, whether it's restaurants or shoe stores, whatever, find you something that you already do and just put your money in that lane. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the most basic essentials, Black people are making them, and you can start that now. You ain't got to wait for November like Keisha Bottoms wants you to. You can start that now. You know what I'm saying? You need, soap, dishwashing detergent, whatever. You can start that now. You need, t-shirts or something. You can start that now. You need jeans or something like that. Start that now. You need masks for your face. You can start that now. There's Black businesses for all that stuff. And there's been some people that showed up in the chat, links with that stuff. So you can check that stuff out now. With that said, I think we've exorcised the demons. You good?
I don't know about that, but.
Oh man, and thank you for the link, Fillmore Pockets, and yeah, cool. So yeah, thank you for the link on that, and then on the replay, just throw the link down in the chat, and I mean the link down in the comments, so people will have that too, because it's interesting how this stuff is playing out, but we got to stay focused. I know there's a lot going on, but this is just a checkup to stay focused. We got that George Floyd joint going on. I know we got to fight on different fronts. We got Ahmaud Arbery, we got Breonna Taylor, we got George Floyd. Now we got Manuel Lewis.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I forgot his name, but Manuel is his first name. I don't think it's Lewis, but it's Manuel in Tacoma, Washington. We got 4 fights on us right now, and I know you get tired. There's nothing wrong with being tired. There's nothing wrong with being hurt. There's nothing wrong with being broken. Get yourself some rest. Get back up, and we got to keep fighting.
Oh.
Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to add, this is kind of a side note, but we are from Virginia, and in Virginia, they are pulling down the Confederate monuments that.
Oh, in Richmond.
In Richmond, Virginia. If you are from Richmond, you know that's what you're going to see when you go into the city. Right there on Monument Avenue, you can't miss it. You literally have to drive around them. But they are coming down, and so that is huge.
Huge deal.
Huge.
A huge deal
for Richmond, Virginia. Huge, and so that's good news.
Yeah, and big shout out to Jamal Lee with the super chat. Of course, guys, I am a black business. This is about black family. So feel free if y'all want to contribute to Patreon or super chat. But if you can't, sharing is caring. Share this. Show your mama, your daddy, your daddy, your uncle, your cousins, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, all that. Share it. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment. That stuff moves things up in the algorithm for me to continue to make stuff where we can come, we can talk, we can have a good time, like the rent party, like these conversations on Friday, like another show that we're getting ready to do soon. We'll have another show where we're getting into relationships with Lisa and I. Tons of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, slowly and surely. And big shout out to Fill More Pockets. You'll be filling more pockets. With the super chat as well. But guys, on the real, stay safe. COVID-19 is still out there, but we still have to fight. So while you fighting, have your mask and gloves and go fight. You know what I'm saying? And just remember when you get home, remove your gloves, trash. Remove your clothes, straight, separate them for the regular clothes. You need to wash those immediately. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to get COVID on that. You know what I'm saying? Boogsworthy in the house. What up? With the super chat. Thank you. I did want to hit Therese. Therese says, I'm starting to feel like trying to get justice is not enough because this government ain't built for us. So they don't care. So we got to take action with our dollars, get our concealing, protect ourselves. Yes. And we've been talking about that since Ahmaud Arbery. Yes. Get your gun. It is your right to have your protection, to be able to protect yourself. And in every locality is different, but in your locality, find out how you can have your carry permit with you. Obtain that carry permit, keep it with you, carry your protection with you. Just in case people get stupid. Because we saw recently, there was this man in Dallas? I don't want to blame Dallas yet. Let me see if I can find it. But there was a man outside with a chainsaw, spouting, of course, racial epithets at people. They just say it's Texas, so I don't know where in Texas. But dude's just outside with a chainsaw, running after people, yelling out, racial stuff against black people. And all I'm saying is, look, keep y'all protection on you. Because I'm going to be honest. I ain't playing no mess. Ain't going to be no Texas Chainsaw Massacre up in here. All right? It's going to be a plaka and have a good day. I'm just saying. Protect yourselves. So find out how to get your concealed carry permit. Every city and county is different, but you can find that. And it is your right to be able to protect yourselves. So protect yourselves. Of course, Lady Lisa, say peace.
Bye, y'all.
NERDSoulite, you ready to go? Oh, now you come on. Now you want to be down. Come on over here. All right. Say peace. All right, cool. With that said, guys, love all y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. To the chat, Catherine B, Boogsworthy, Shango Zulu, Fillmore Pockets, Therese, Pim Griffey, Jamal Lee, Tay-Tay 2020, shot by Nolan, Kibi23. Dad, we had a whole bunch of stars in here tonight. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing somebody, and I apologize. Tiffany Little in the house. Good to see you. Markeith Collins in the place. John Lemus, what up? And I might have gotten everybody, but I'm not sure. If I missed you, I do apologize. It is no diss. We're glad that you came. Stay safe. Seriously, stay safe. If you are out there protesting, thank you for being out there on the front lines for us that can't go out because either we got, little ones that we ain't trying to take out with us and stuff like that, or whether people are older. So for the younger people that are out there and the older people that are out there, we thank you for being out there on the front lines. We thank you for protesting. We thank you for pushing. We thank you for either getting loud or being peaceful. We thank you for being peaceful or breaking something. We thank you for getting out there and making people uncomfortable. Because you being out there and making people uncomfortable, whether it was a fire or a broken glass or whatever, that's what got things to move in the system that normally would have just let George Floyd die. And I'm not here to dog out any protesters. Now, for our older people, we need y'all to come in. We need y'all support too. We know y'all can't march, but we need y'all help. So guys, until next week, thank you so much. Love all y'all. Check out those links. And of course, buy black. The Shop Black somebody dropped in. We buy black. There's something that you need that black people are making. Slowly make that transition. Buy black. Let that dollar circulate. So from us to you, we're just saying we love all y'all and peace. 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 Yeah. A peace. Peace. A peace. Peace. You coming? You coming over here? Come over here and say peace. Come over here and say peace. All right, come on. You gonna say peace. All right. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Peace. Peace, peace. All right, love all y'all. We out.